Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Appreciate it, dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Retro Nerd Girl is here. Let me turn this down over here. Stray is here. And Theo's here. Wonderful. Glad to have you. Okay, now, I downloaded and listened to on YouTube the audio situation, and I heard what you were hearing, when I was listening to the playback. It sounded like an audio, like a record skipping periodically. So I heard some people say echo, but it wasn't like a constant echo. It was like a record skip. So let me know if you're hearing that now. I reset everything on this end. That's rather disheartening because I don't really know what would be causing that. I hope that resetting everything over here, restart computer, all, gear that's running and things like that will have helped with that. Let me know, because I got to solve that problem, but I'm not exactly sure what the problem is. I've got two different potential mics set up over here because I'm going to be using the iPad as an auxiliary camera this morning. So if you're hearing that on the Yeti right here, Stray says, okay, well, that's good to know. If you hear it, I'm going to turn to the iPad camera because I'm over here. Okay, well, that's Excellent. That's actually heartening because, like I said, I was disheartened because I was thinking that I have no idea what's all of a sudden causing that problem. The Dad Gamer, welcome. Good to see you. Good morning. How are you? I am good. I'm good. I still feel like there's so much chaos going on, going on because of Christmas. I get ready for that. I've got Christmas lunch on Saturday, and then Christmas dinner or a Christmas party Monday night. So there won't be a live stream on Monday night. We've been kind of out of whack, but I got a Christmas party with the family Monday night, so we won't be live streaming that night either. I got to get ready for those Christmas parties, and I am driving all the way across Georgia tomorrow. So starting tomorrow for our field trip, geek-related field trip that I'm extremely excited about. I haven't revealed where I'm going yet, but I will. I'll put it in Discord. I'll put it out on Instagram. I may not stream there Sunday. I'm going to be there on Sunday, so there might not be a live stream there. I was thinking, well, what if I take the live streaming stuff? And I still might, but I'm not completely set up for remote live streaming yet. I need to be in order to do things like this, but I don't know with the Christmas parties and everything else if I'm actually going to be able to do a remote live stream. But I'm be recording video anyway, so we can watch it later, even if I don't do that. Because I don't even know what the internet situation is over there or anything like that. Actually, part of what I'm doing is a technical scout of a location to potentially go and shoot more videos in. So may have to do something else on Sunday as well. Sunday morning. So that's what's going on tonight. Tonight, we are going to do Dinner and a Board Game. I've got one of the Dinner and a Board Game episodes, one of the season 1 episodes that's not been released. And I'm thinking there's going to be 2 different ways to watch, because I want to just release the first part of the episode. It's the first part of the episode. It's about an hour and a half. We play Zombicide Black Plague. It was a great episode. I want to premiere it, but then after that, I might premiere that a little bit early. I got to finish uploading it. But then I figure after that, then I'll make it a Crafter's Corner and watch it again. So you've got 2 choices. You can watch it as the premiere when you're just watching the episode. And then right after that, I'll go live because I got things to paint. I'm going to take this opportunity for both episodes to paint the Hero Quest stuff. But then I'll come on live for the morning grind, live for the Crafter's Corner. After that, we will watch it again. And then I can comment or whatever, and we can also craft. So 2 ways to watch it. You can watch it with the premiere, or you can watch it live with me. Either way, I think that's a good way to go as we release the new Dinner and a Board Game episodes. Stray is excited about Dinner and a Board Game. Okay, so what we are looking at today is this. We actually got sent a whole bunch of stuff from Free League. I put that in the Discord server channel last night. In fact, let me go ahead and put a link to the Discord server. Well, I'll have to pull it back up because I've shut everything down and reset everything on this end to try to solve the audio issues, which included things like Discord server. We got a lot of stuff from Free League, and I want to look at some of that starting next week. It'll be next week before we can start looking at it. But I wanted to look at this. I had on the docket to look at the Pathfinder beginner box today because this is the original Pathfinder. Now they're on to 2nd edition, but this is the 1st edition of the game. And I never got to play Pathfinder, but I did pick up this beginner's box. And so we can take a look at 2 things when we're looking at the boxes. First of all, how did Pathfinder go? I mean, it was kind of based on 3rd edition, right? But then also, what's the quality of the boxes? Because we've actually got a bunch of different boxes around here. And I was going to show that off because we had looked at Lone Wolf, right? And we talked about, what is inside this box, how great a setup it was. I really liked its size, and it's full of stuff. So I really liked that. I specifically want to compare it to the D&D starter set. We might just open up a couple of things and take a look at that because we kind of thought that the starter set was a bit thin. And I remember back in the day that the starter set was this, and some people were disappointed with the starter set. And that seems to be something that has come up several times with Dungeons and Dragons starter sets. David was telling me years ago when it wasn't this edition, but whatever it was, when he had first bought a D&D box, he was like, I heard so much about Dungeons and Dragons. And then he went out and bought the box set, and he opened it up, and it was kind of thin inside. And he was like, what is this? What is in this? So it wasn't all that much. And he was kind of disappointed until somebody else was like, let me show you what to do with that. So that's another not being impressed with the contents. And I've heard that happen again with this box set right here. Somebody, all right, what is Dungeons and Dragons? Let's check this out. And then there actually wasn't all that much inside the box. 64-page adventure book, 32-page rule book, 5 pre-generated characters, and 6 game dice, even though it's a much thicker, style box. And they're like, wait a minute, what is this? And so I felt like, I was like, okay, what are other companies doing? Because we're looking at what they're putting in. And so when Pathfinder came out with this box, I can completely understand why this box right here stomps this box right here, because this has got tons of stuff in it. We're going to take a look at it and see how it's organized and how to play. To me, the Dungeons and Dragons Essential Kit was much better. The Essentials Kit came out later, and I don't have any knowledge of the timeline or anything like that. If the development of the Essentials Kit was like in response to, okay, we got to have a better box because Pathfinder is kicking our butts over here with a much better box. So we're also learning how to play, even though this is an older edition, but we were looking at what's actually inside the box. Another box we'll take a look at later is the GURPS Dungeon Fantasy box. I mean, this is a big, solid Dungeon Fantasy box. So I like box sets. And then I just got these 2 box sets in. So we'll look at these next week sometime. The Blade Runner game, Free League sent me this one. So this is actually the box that we looked at digitally last week, wasn't it? So we looked at this digitally and looked at all the PDFs of what was in there, but we had some questions about exactly how does it manifest physically. And so, well, we're going to be able to figure that out and take a look at exactly what you would have at the table if you choose to run a Blade Runner game. So we got another box set to look at. And I got the Alien box set. So this is another one we can look at next week. So there is a lot of stuff to compare and look through here. So we got Alien box set as well. I'm a box set kind of guy. Hey, we didn't sip and breathe. So let's breathe. So I'm getting keyed up, get into it, and then I'll pull up the auxiliary camera. Let's breathe. I got water today. I'm thinking about fasting today, doing like a 24-hour fast before Christmas meals. So I was thinking about fasting and just water. So we'll see if that goes, how that goes, but that's what I'm thinking of doing. So we'll breathe and sip. I'm so happy you're not hearing audio issues because I had no. Okay, let me bring up auxiliary camera. So, let me turn on light. The box is shiny, but we'll fix that here in a moment. We're not going to have it open very long or closed very long anyway. So, did anybody get this one? We're going to have to look at Pathfinder 2nd Edition as well, because I've got that sitting over here, but I haven't ever played it, and I want to know. I heard they changed things up, and for some reason, Pathfinder, and it could just be like the social media people that I'm following, but Pathfinder, it seems like to me, is very much fallen off the radar. Has that happened to other people? Is that the case? Everything, I saw Pathfinder everywhere for, a while. Of course, it just exploded, especially when 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons was out there. We had Pathfinder come out. And then I remember seeing a bunch of stuff about Pathfinder 2nd edition. And I got not all of the 2nd edition stuff, the initial core book release of 2nd edition when I was at Gen Con. But I haven't gotten to play it, and I haven't heard people talking about it. Keith says, never played any kind of Pathfinder. All right. Well, this will be new for both of us. I remember that Bill, when we were at Gen Con, sat down and did some tests about how to play, like learning how to play the 2nd edition. But we never got to play, and I wonder how it does. Like, as far as our analysis of different RPGs and what the game mechanics are, I want to see what they're doing in second edition, but I have no idea if it's taking off or whatever. I haven't heard anything about it, good or bad. Just completely fallen off the radar. It's weird. Okay, so I remember thinking that this was kind of like, oh wow, this is kind of like the gold standard then in RPG boxes. If you know other boxes that we should look at, we should take a look at them. Well, actually, the Dungeon Fantasy is also really, really good. But as far as just, here's the beginner box, what is in it? Oh yeah, this one beat the pants off the D&D box. So this one says, well, we know about basic role-playing stuff. Imaginative tabletop, streamlined rules focused on action-packed adventure. This deluxe box set is an ideal introduction to the Pathfinder role-playing game, the best starting point for a lifetime of pulse-pounding adventure. So this says a 64-page hero's handbook detailing character creation, spells, etc., a 96-page game master's guide packed with monsters, magic, and treasure, set of dice, more than 80 full-color pawns depicting diverse heroes and monsters, 4 pre-generated characters, 4 blank character sheets, a durable, reusable flip map surface that works with any type of marker, and then also a 16-page transition guide to bring your hero into the full Pathfinder role-playing game. Oh, I wonder if that's about, like, if you were playing Dungeons and Dragons. Doesn't say converting from what. Okay, so inside, it's not filled to the brim, but still, it's a very weighty box as well. So basic 7-set polyhedral dice. Stand-ups for the pawns that are inside, and these are they are thick and durable. I think that Pathfinder releases a lot of these, like pawns, or did. And so you're probably familiar, if you've gotten those, what these are. It looks like there's probably the same thing they release in general. Pawns, yes, yeah, they call pawns. I would say stand-ups or standees or something like that, but they call them the cardboard pawns. The Dad Gamer. Pogs, on the other hand, that's something for retro geekdom to bring back. I wonder if we'd find some Pogs to look at on the show. That'd be fun. The Dad Gamer says, cover looks nice for that. Very drawing. Wanted to check that out. Yeah, Pathfinder does have quite a, at least for its first edition, quite a unique style, that's carried across all of its stuff, all of its line. So you instantly know that it's Pathfinder. And yeah, I like a lot of it. Stray says, yeah, my tables went Pathfinder when 4th edition came out. Okay, so you're one of the ones who went Pathfinder. See, I wasn't gaming at all at the time. 4th was more of a board game. Pathfinder was a shiny 2.5 or probably 3.5. Also, their info was free online at the time. Oh, well, I bet that really did help them out. I bet that did help them out a lot. Yeah, I was not playing games at all at the time, but I heard all of that. So I skipped all of 4th edition. I probably would have gone to Pathfinder too had I been gaming at the time. That's probably what my gaming rate would have done. So we've got a Game Master's Guide right here. Pathfinder goblins are awesome. Welcome, welcome, Joe Aya. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome, glad to see you. Let me see if my Discord is up so I can drop a link to the Discord now. Oh, Discord's back up. Here's a link to the Ravenkeep Discord server. Link to the Ravenkeep Discord server in the chat if you would like to join us there. Let's see. Andrew says, the last RPG I played was Pathfinder. Okay, I joined my buddy in an existing session for one day. It was fun, but he lives too far away. Oh, yeah. That's why online. So this is our transition guide. So what is this? What are you transitioning from? This book is for players and game masters. You should be familiar with the beginner's box set and game master's guide. Oh, it's transitioning the full game. I see. you've been playing the Hero's Handbook and Game Master's Guide and you want more spells, more classes, more monsters, more magic items, more fun. You're ready to take the next step in learning the full version of the Pathfinder role-playing game. You see that 576-page Pathfinder core rulebook? You're probably feeling a bit intimidated. That's okay. Oh, well, I like that. We might look at this later. But, we've been talking about how the rules are always the thing that is so, the obstacle. The big rule books are the obstacle to getting into a game. And we've seen some great examples. We've seen some not great examples too, but we've seen some great examples of how it seems like people are trying to fix that with the different rule books about, learn to play or learn the game as you play. The Fantasy Flight Star Wars was like that. It seemed like that Lone Wolf was like that rather than having to read all this stuff before you play, you can just play and we'll teach you as you go, follow along this guide. I like that. And then this way they've extended, it seems like, that kind of idea further here, because they're saying, hey, if you're trying to go from this small book right here to the 576-page core Pathfinder book, that's quite a tome. How do you do that? So this is a sliding into that. That's cool. See, that's another reason probably why I thought they might be beating the pants off D&D at the time. Not only did D&D take the 4th edition nosedive, but it seems like they clearly knew what they were doing to get people into their game. So this is the Game Master's Guide. Let me look at that in just a moment. Okay, so more stand-up bases right here. They had fallen out. So up here are our pawns. Human cleric, elf cleric, men and women of both. Dwarf cleric, human fighter, elf fighter. So that looks like all different kinds of player heroes, both male and female versions of both. Bad guys, animated statue, air elemental, fire elemental, barghest, werewolf, salamander, hellhound, venomous snake, manticore there, serpent folk. Oh, here we got goblins right here. Goblins, giant spiders, ghouls, skeleton, wolf, troglodyte, zombie. Now, I'm pretty sure other people may know more, but that Pathfinder is fairly tactical in its combat. So that's probably why it has all the emphasis on the pawns. But, this is a great way, I think, to, not everything has to be a miniature. Not everything has to be a miniature. And not everything, of course, you could paint all of your miniatures. Talking about what's the most you could possibly do for your game. Having all miniatures all painted up. But on the other hand, I don't have any problem with stand-ups. It's better to have a nicely colored stand-up than, nothing. And because especially something that's going to be out on the table like once. The Weeby Goblins adventure is a real treat. All right. I wonder if that's the one in here. I don't know, but we'll see. Matt, good morning. Hey, I should remember to ask this from time to time. We have 13 people watching, and that is incredible. If you would hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it. Hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, it would be great if you would subscribe. If you hit the like button, maybe people will, YouTube will recommend the stream to more people. So, Game Master's Guide, Hero's Handbook. More stuff here. Wizard, these are the pre-generated characters. Play this wizard character if you'd like to be good at blasting enemies with fire, throwing weapons with telekinesis, knowing secrets about magic, knowing secrets about ancient lore, and using ancient magic. So, so this is the folio-sized. You've got about Ezrin. But on the other hand, I like the bullet points. Hey, what do you want to play? Now, most of us around here probably understand what the different character classes are good at. Cleric right there. But if you are completely new, we want to cater to people who are completely new as well, to let them know what things are about in an easy way. Fighter and rogue. And I like your bullet points. The Nose Play says, this reminds me of the old red TSR D&D first edition box set. I remember it had cardboard stand-ups to play as well. Oh, it did? Okay, well, that's interesting. We were talking about how we thought that the D&D box sets, the current 5th edition ones, and perhaps historically had been a bit thin. Although there was one, I would really like to get some of the AD&D sets that I had again, or that we played with, whether or not I had them or whether somebody else did at the table. And look at and compare, because there was one set that we got a lot of gaming out of. So we've got the character folio here, and like Trey recommends, and it's become kind of a staple, like let's look at one of the character classes, one of the character sheets, and then the reason it's a folio is you've got, I believe Star Wars had this as well, the information on the sides. So if you're new, well, you can see exactly what all of these things are. So this will probably be kind of like a blast from the past with 3.5, which I did play. So your ability scores. So we've got race, alignment, gender, class, XP, level. But ability scores and modifiers. Ability scores represent your raw physical and mental talent. Higher number, the better. The better an ability score is, the better its ability modifier is. So probably your ability, this is one of those situations where the ability modifier matters a lot. And this tells you sometimes you have to make an ability check to do something simple like break open a door or remember the name of an innkeeper. You make an ability check by rolling 1d20 and adding the ability modifier, not the ability score. For example, to make a strength check, roll 1d20 plus 1, because here your strength modifier is 1. Elf racial traits, 30 feet, move 30 feet, low light vision, keen senses. Tells you over here about, elf racial traits. Making skill checks. So we've got skills here. Only some of them are grayed out. So if you say, class skill, we got to check here for class skill. Skills are things that anyone can do, like climb or swim. Like a rogue, as a rogue, you're talented at athletics, observation, sneaking, and working with traps and locks. To make a skill check when you try to use a skill, higher numbers are better. Roll 1d20 and add the total from the last column you're trying to equal to or exceed the difficulty class. So we've got ranks here, ability modifier, miscellaneous modifier for total modifier. So is it a class skill? How many ranks we've got in that skill? Ability modifier, everything's got an ability tied to it, and then miscellaneous mod. Armor and weapons. Good morning, BGD. Good morning. Good to see you. Joea says, Pathfinder boxes are great resources even if you play other fantasy RPGs. I'm not a Pathfinder player, but I played in the past. It's D&D 3.75 edition. Yeah. Do you know anything about how 2nd edition is going? Have you heard how 2nd edition is going? Like, Pathfinder has completely fallen off my radar. But, there's no reason, like you're talking about resources. This is would be a great resource with boxes to play and things like that or adventures to play for, any other game like D&D or whatever else as well. And these books, I'll show you these books, these 2nd edition books over here. Well, God, I got a lot of them. Well, see, this is what I got for Pathfinder, but I'm pretty sure this is all the 2nd edition stuff. Pathfinder flip map, that's Delta Green. Pathfinder Hell Knight Hill. See, this was part of the playtest. Pathfinder playtest Doomsday Dawn. I got the GM screen. Here, I'll go over here. Oh, I've got the Pathfinder playtest rulebook. I forgot I had that. Here's the 2nd edition bestiary. And then this is the 2nd edition core rulebook. I forgot they published playtest versions of the 2nd edition. But that's a massive core rulebook right there. 2nd edition. 638 pages. So, whatever they did, they did a lot of it. class features. Oh, we've got saving throws. Where are saving throws? Armor, shield, and weapon proficiencies. Class features. Oh, right here. Saving throws. Fortitude, reflex, will. Attack bonus. Weapons and attacks. Initiative, melee, ranged weapons. Armor and armor class. Feats. Equipment. Gives you what equipment you've got over here. Rogues do not cast spells. And this is a quick rundown on your rogue features. So add +1 to your perception skills when looking for traps. Add +1 damage to plus d6 damage to weapons if your target hasn't been active in combat yet, your target is paralyzed or helpless, and your ally or you and an ally are flanking on both sides of the target. I like this layout. I mean, it does take a lot of room on the table. And ordinarily, if I were going to do a character folio, I would want it to like have the that's not an intro, you know, but let me swap over the camera. Something that's not an intro, I'd want the main character sheet here on the front, and then you open it up and have additional space and things like that for stuff. But that way it only takes up one sheet of paper space on the table ordinarily. But I do like this idea that we've seen in multiple role-playing games now about opening it up, having the one page sort of in the center, and then explanation stuff on the sides. If I were teaching a game, I would want to have that. If I were the game master and I was teaching a game to people, it sure would be handy. Now, what is this? What is this? Well, it explains, you know, what your stuff and your character is, and also what you can do on your turn. You may take one standard action, attack with a weapon, move up to 30 feet, use a magic item, start picking a lock, move up to 15 feet with stealth, and one move action. Take an item from your pack, draw a weapon, open or close a door. Finish picking a lock. Move up to 30 feet. Move up to 15 feet with stealth. Pick up an item from the ground. Reload your crossbow. And one free action. Drop. Speak. Drop an item. Drop prone in your square. Move 5 feet. Having that information for people who are learning, that would be so helpful when trying to play a game. I have not played 2nd edition yet, but I know some groups in my area, in Portugal, by the way. Oh, well, welcome. That is awesome. We are playing it. The new edition has a 3-action economy similar to Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. I think I remember something about 3 actions being something that Bill was talking about. He was saying when he was learning to play at Gen Con that you've got 3 different actions and they're just encompassing everything that you can do, and might even have something to do with defense. Now we're going to have to look at 2nd edition as well. So here, so our basic character sheet, because we've been trying to study this to put together an RPG, and we've already started that, but it's not like there isn't a lot more to look at. So this is the character sheet. So the ordinary character sheet is front and back, just one page. So it's not the explanation portfolio. Legend icon, right on sheet. Okay, D4, D8, D12, critical threat, spell on friends, spell on enemies, standard magic. Okay. Join the Pathfinder Society. And then we do have this, which is nice. This isn't just paper. It's much thicker card. And you got 2 options here. You got just the squares, which you can write on, draw on. And then you've got this one over here, which has some type of dungeon on it. I would guess this has to do with one of the adventures inside, but also probably multi-use. So that's durable. It's not just like a poster paper. It's much more durable than that. I'm going to put these back in here. Right there. These in here, and we're going to take a look at some of this transition guide. We're probably not going to have time to look at the transition guide, even though that's a cool idea. So that's transitioning from this box to here. So we got Hero's Handbook and the GM's Guide. Although I do want to just come over here for a moment. Ugh. This box may not actually may have stuff in it that is not original to it. But when you open up this box, like this is the D&D starter set. So this is this one. And what have you got in it? Okay, you've got some characters. Now this is not full color, it was black and white. Not folio. You've got characters. You've got the Last Mines of Fandelver, which I played, by the way, and I've run. So, but that's for the Game Master. See, that's when we were playing. And then a starter set rule book, which is, doesn't have the hard cover on it, or not hard cover, but, the perfect bound material. Like this is just a paper front and back. And then it's got this giant spacer in it. Well, not giant, but I mean, that takes up half of the box right there. And here's your starter rule set. And it's not the way that's, outlined for, start here and here's how to play. But yeah, so that was all that was inside this box. There might have been dice inside this box that have been removed. But yeah, I mean, by comparison, that box seems lame. I'd much rather have the Pathfinder box. Yeah, especially if you're trying to get somebody new into playing the game and you're going to give it as a gift or something like that. You're going to give it to like nieces or nephews or sons or daughters or something like that. They're probably going to be more impressed with the Pathfinder box than the original starter set box for D&D. So the Hero's Handbook. So this is for players wanting to learn the Pathfinder role-playing game. Let me find a way to make sure the glare is off the books. There we go. Oh, okay. So this even has a solo adventure. Okay, well, we should try this out for as far as learning how to play. So this is like, a lightweight, a few pages solo adventure and an example of how to play and then getting started. See, this just seems so friendly as far as getting involved in the game. I'm trying to take note of all of that because that's definitely something we'd want to replicate. It says, "Are you ready for adventure?" The following pages, and this is nice that even if you want to play and you want to be you want to play as in not be the game master, how do you figure out how to play if it's just you with this box set? Well, you don't want to look at the Game Master's Guide. I don't believe this is probably the adventures. This book is exclusively for Game Masters, right? Game Masters should be familiar with this book and the Hero's Handbook. Find more free beginner box content at Paizo/beginner box. Okay, so this is adventures. No, it's more than that. We got an adventure, Black Things dungeon, and then information on game mastering, building your own adventure, the environment, magic items, monsters, random encounters, Sand Point. Maybe that's a location. Game Master's reference, conditions, index, and where to go from here. So this is not all adventures. Oh, so the table's like scrolls, staves. So it's like a mini Game Master's handbook from Dungeons & Dragons and Bestiary. So here are all of our monster stats. So adventure in the front. So not necessarily all secret information, but there you go. But yeah, you would open that up and go, oh, well, I don't want to open that up. Let me figure out how to play. But you got to have a game master to run through it. Well, no, you don't. You can use this solo adventure right here, the Skeleton King's Crypt. So let's see. It says, "Are you ready for adventure? The following pages contain a short quest that you can play by yourself. You don't need to know the rules of the game just yet. This adventure will teach you some of them. If you want to skip this quest and head straight into making a character, do so. Go to page 10. Otherwise, read on. To play, you will need a piece of scratch paper, a pencil, the dice that came with the beginner's box. To begin, read entry 1 and do whatever it tells you. Most entries will tell you to go to another entry that gives you several choices. Only read the entries that you are told to read. Your choices will determine whether the character you play lives or dies. Oh, it says you are a brave warrior hailing from the town of Sandpoint. So yes, Sandpoint is a location. I kind of want to do this and just see what this is. In fact, let's do it. Where I got dice sitting around here. I should. Yeah, I got some dice. So you are a brave warrior hailing from the town of Sandpoint in a land called Varasia on the coast of the Great Steaming Sea. Life in the small town is simple, but also hard. The surrounding wilderness is full of goblins and monsters. Lately, these monsters have been growing bolder, carrying off children and livestock from outlying farmsteads. In desperation, the terrified townsfolk have turned to you for protection. The mayor, a kindly woman named Kendra Deverin, has promised you a reward of 100 gold pieces if you can clear out a nearby dungeon where some of these creatures are said to live. Classic adventuring, right? It's a dangerous job, but you know in your heart that you're up to the challenge. You gather up your gear, a sturdy suit of chainmail armor, and your father's old longsword, and head off into the woods, following the crude map the mayor gave you. After several hours of walking, you arrive at a desolate hillside. Just up ahead is the darkened entrance to a tunnel. This must be the dungeon. Read on to the next page. To gather up your courage and head inside, go to entry 9. Okay. You find yourself in a dark, dusty corridor heading down into the earth. As you walk, a light from the entrance quickly fades to no more than a faint glow, and you are forced to use a torch to light your way. In its flickering light, you can see the corridor opens into a room just ahead. You hear a quiet growl and draw your sword from its sheath. Suddenly, your eyes detect movement. A pile of rags in the corner leaps up, revealing itself to be a vile goblin with warty green skin and a head shaped like a watermelon. Its filthy clothes are covered in bloodstains, and one hand still holds the roasted leg of a stolen sheep. In the other hand is a wicked-looking short sword. It snares at you and charges. You are now in combat. You know the goblin is nasty, evil creature you must kill before it can continue. An evil creature you must kill before you can continue. Both you and the goblin take turns attacking one another. Attacks are made by rolling 20-sided dice, or D20 for short, adding in your attack bonus, see below. If the total is equal to or greater than the goblin's armor class, AC for short, the attack is a hit and deals damage. Damage is subtracted from the goblin's hit points, or HP. To beat the goblin, you must reduce its hit points to 0 or fewer. This goblin will make a similar attack against you. If you hit 0, you die. Record your hit points on your scratch paper. How many? Oh, I got 12 hit points. Scratch paper I got. All right, I got 12 hit points. I got an attack bonus of +5, and I got 1d8 +2 longsword damage. This goblin has an attack bonus of +1. He's got D4 for a short sword damage. He's got an AC of 13 and 6 hit points. All right. You go first in the first round. Let's go Elder Dice. All right, so D20 +5. Yeah, 20. Did it tell me what to do if I hit a critical damage? Or we're not into that yet. I rolled a 20. So 25. So I hit. Longsword damage, 1d8 +2. Don't I at least double damage or something? It would be cool if I could kill this guy before we even get started, before he even has a chance to fight back. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to double damage for the crit. 6, 7. That would kill the goblin. So I'm a goblin killing machine here. If the goblin is reduced to 0 hit points or fewer, you have defeated the goblin. Turn to entry number 13. With a final desperate lunge, you slide past the goblin's guard and send your blade plunging into its chest. The goblin, boy, did I. The goblin snarls one last time in pain and frustration. Then its bulbous eyes close and it slumps to the ground, dead. Taking a look through the filthy pouch on its belt, you find 7 gold pieces and a small glass vial filled with red liquid. Written on the cap is the word heal. This must be a potion of healing. Potion of healing. Any Damage the goblin caused you remains. Make sure you note the current hit point total on the scratch piece of paper. You can drink the potion at any time during this adventure to regain 8 hit points. Know that you cannot exceed your maximum hit points. If you choose to use it during combat, however, you must drink it instead of making an attack, which means the monster will attack twice in a row. Write Potion of Healing plus 8 HP, all right, on your scratch paper and cross it out when you use it. You can only drink the potion once. Looking around, you see the rest of the chamber is empty, but there are 2 corridors leading from this room leading deeper into the dungeon. The east corridor is full of cobwebs and looks like it's not been used in a long time. If you go east, turn to 18. The west corridor smells of hay and mold, but is clear of webs. Well, if we're looking for whatever's been beating up this town, we should probably go down entry number 4. The smell of mold grows stronger with each step down the western corridor. After about 50 feet, the corridor ends in a simple wooden door that stands half open, revealing the room beyond. Inside the room is a large cage made up of iron bars with a layer of moldy hay at the bottom. Laying on the hay is a local farm boy from Sandpoint, one of the children who went missing in a recent goblin attack. All right, thought so. He looks hungry and is covered with bruises. Across the room from his cage, a large key dangles from a hook a few feet off the floor, just low enough for a goblin to reach. The boy appears to be sleeping. If you take the key from the hook, go to 11. If you wake up the boy and talk to him, turn to 22. If you ignore the boy and leave the room, turn to 14. Well, I don't want to scare him. Hey, Ryan. Hey, we got 15 people here. Welcome. If you're here, please do hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. Welcome, Ryan. Welcome. So BGD says, in terms of contents, the Pathfinder starter set seems much more on the level with the starter set for Call of Cthulhu, which gives you character generation rules, play mechanics, and 3 adventures, including a solo quest. So wait, do I not have that? I guess I don't have a Call of Cthulhu. We're going to have to look at Call of Cthulhu. So if there is a Call of Cthulhu starter set, I probably need to get that, and that's where we need to start with Call of Cthulhu, because I'm interested in the role-playing game mechanics and then also what comes in starter sets. We should check that out. I don't know how I missed that one when I was getting Call of Cthulhu stuff. I might as well go ahead and grab the key from the hook before the goblins show up. You lift the key from the iron hook. It looks like it might fit the lock on the farm boy's cage. Here is only a chance to escape the dungeon. Well, yeah, I want to wake him up and try to free him. 22. You call out to the boy and his eyes slowly open. Thank the gods, he croaks through the cracked and bloodied lips. I was out working in the fields when the goblin ambushed me. I think he's going to eat me. Please let me out of here. I just want to go home. What do you do? I used the key to free the boy. 6. Oh, we got a second. Theo says, I'll second that. The Call of Cthulhu starter set is a good value. All right, well, then we're going to check out the Call of Cthulhu starter set. Thank you, the farm boy sobs as you open the door to the cage. I've been trapped in here for days. I'm getting out of here. But if you're going to keep going, you should be careful. Oh, I'm getting out of here, but if you're going to keep going, you should be careful. There's something far more terrible than a goblin deeper in the dungeon. The goblins called it the Skeleton King. Here, take my mace with you. He brushes aside... He's got a mace? He brushes aside some straw on the ceiling floor and on the cell floor and pulls out a weapon that looks like a club with a large metal head. I managed to hide it down the back of my shirt when the goblins captured me. Really? Okay. I think you're going to need it against whatever's hiding down there. Good luck. With that, the young boy races out of the dungeon, heading home to his family. Record that you have a mace on your piece of paper. That weapon might come in handy later. Okay, mace. I've got on my list the alone against the stuff, for whatever it was. I got it written down for Call of Cthulhu as well. 14. Turning from the room, you head back up the corridor to the chamber with the dead goblin. The only way left to go is east down the cobweb-filled corner. All right, well, let's go down there. Using your torch to burn away the webs, you carefully make your way down the eastern corridor. After about 30 feet, the corridor turns to the south and proceeds for another 20 feet before opening into a large chamber. If this is my first time here, go to 12. Sure is. This large chamber is mostly empty. Except for the cobwebs hanging from the ceiling. Across the room, you can see a gruesome stone sculpture of a devil perched above the open doorway. Scattered across the floor are a few gold coins. Through the doorway, you can see a flight of stairs going down deeper into the dungeon. Seeing no monsters in the room, you make your way toward the stairs, stopping to pick up the coins along the way. Halfway through the chamber, your foot catches on a hidden tripwire. Suddenly, a blast of flame shoots out of the stone devil's mouth, coming straight towards you. You have encountered a trap. A trap makes an attack against the character. In this case, the trap shoots a cone of fire at you. This fire fills the entire room and automatically hits you, dealing 6 points of damage. Your only hope is to leap back out of the room and thus take less damage. This attempt is a saving throw. To attempt a saving throw against this trap, roll d20, add 2. If your total is greater than the difficulty class of the trap, you only take half damage. This is an 11 difficulty trap. All right, rolling dice here. Plus 2. 8, 10. Failed. So I took 6 points of damage. If the fire reduces your hit points to 0 or fewer, it kills you. If you still have at least 1 hit point, you survive the trap. I survived. The fire burns you up a bit, but you managed to survive. You finish collecting the coins, 9 gold pieces in total. All that remains is the scorched statue and the staircase leading down. You've heard that the dungeon gets more dangerous the deeper you venture. Are you ready to explore the deeper level? Well, yeah, I think I am, but I'm going to drink my potion so I get back up to full hit points. And then go to 10. The ancient stone stairs are slick with moisture. At the bottom, you find they end in a large natural cavern filled with stalactites and stalagmites. You can see shallow pools of water on the floor and a large crack in the far wall that looks like a passageway. As you cross the room, something doesn't seem quite right. You stop to look around the room. To uncover the mystery, you need to attempt a skill check. Each character at this game has several skills representing the adventurer's training. This skill uses a skill called Perception, which allows you to notice things that are hidden. Roll a d20, and add your skill bonus. In this case, it is plus 4. 7. I was lucky with the killing, but not so much after this. If your total is less than 12, turn to 7. This might not be good. Although you can't shake a weird feeling that something's wrong, you chalk it up to nerves and continue onward. As you resume walking, however, your boot comes down on a nondescript patch of yellow mold growing on the stone. There's a giant swooshing sound, and the air around you explodes into a cloud of yellow spores that seem to be everywhere at once, filling your nose and mouth. The spores cause you to cough and choke, making your eyes water and your arms feel weak. You can continue, but you are sickened by the spores. Write "sickened" on your piece of scratch paper. When the spores settle, you can now see again through the yellow-tinged tears. You make your way to the crack in the back of the room. There you find it is indeed a passageway. Flickering light beckons ahead, accompanying the dry rattle of bones. So let's, I am sickened. I know that Pathfinder, at least in 2nd edition, makes extensive use of conditions, and I do like that. I do like that. They've got a lot of them. The Great Cthulhu awaits. Yeah, we're gonna have to do stuff with that. I would still like to do some Call of Cthulhu stuff, or just Cthulhu mythos themed stuff as well. I have ideas for stories about that as well, but Rapavania and Theophany are first. Someone should have explained how this kid how maces work. He might not have been a prisoner. Yeah, really. He didn't he's got this mace and he was able to hide it in the back of his shirt. Like what was that? BGD says, yeah, Alone Against the Flames is included in it. That is the included Call of Cthulhu solo adventure written in choose your own adventure style like this one. Oh, well, that's another reason to make sure I get that box then. Yep, healing potion chugged. Might want to pull out the mace too. So, making my way down the passageway. I don't think this is going to take too much longer. Probably put us just about perfect as far as time goes. So the passageway ends in a huge chamber with an arched ceiling. Stairs on the far side of the room lead up to a small platform. Atop the platform looms a golden throne decorated with glittering diamonds and rubies. Sitting on the throne is a skeleton dressed in the ancient and rusted armor of a king. A weirdly glowing longsword clasps in its bony hands. Suddenly, the skeleton's head turns towards you, and its empty eye sockets filled with red flames. Its jaw opens in a horrible smile, and it raises the longsword and points at you. So, it rasps in voices like two stones scraping together. Your pitiful town has sent a champion. How kind of them. Since you clearly have slain my goblin servant, it's only fair that you take his place and join me in death. With a grating laugh, the skeleton stands and moves towards you, ready for the longsword attack. Well, I think we should attack the skeleton with the mace. I don't want to run away. We're going to attack the skeleton with another weapon. Sounds very Diablo. We've got Cthulhu Dark. Is it also a great game? Okay, I'm going to take note of that. Cthulhu Dark. I haven't heard of that one. Oh, my note. There we go. All right, so I want to attack the skeleton with the mace. Remembering the farm boy's warning, you leave your longsword in its sheath and grab the mace from your pack. It's time to teach the skeleton a lesson. So I've got a +6 attack bonus. I'm dealing 1d8 plus 3 damage, AC 16. Hit points, I got 12. Skeleton's attack bonus is +1. He's got a longsword for 1d8. He's got a 17 AC and 14 hit points. If you were sickened by the yellow mold in the previous cavern, yes, I am, you take a -2 penalty to your attack rolls for the first 3 attacks you make during combat. This penalty reduces your attack bonus to +4. You are now in combat. You go first on the first round. Roll d20 and add your attack bonus. So only +4. 17. So I clearly hit him. D8 plus 3. 7. 10 points of damage. Oh, whoa. Bones flying. Bones breaking, bones flying. 14. Now he's got this is +3. Yep. So 10. So he only has 4 hit points left. Skeleton attacks me. 12. 16. Oh, that is my AC. Oh, 6 points of damage. I'm glad I healed. So I'm back down to 6. I attack. 18. I'm good at killing things. All right, I bet this gets him. 5 plus 3. Yep, dead. If you defeat the skeleton, turn to page 23. Or not page, but item 23. With one last swing of your mighty weapon, the skeleton's bones crack and crumble. Bones and armor fall to the floor like a puppet with strings cut. And as you watch, the ancient corpse begins to crumble to dust and rust until only a softly glowing longsword remains. You have defeated the undead lord of the dungeon. Looking around the Skeleton King's throne room, you decide to take its magical longsword. You pry 4 diamonds and 6 rubies from the throne before leaving the dungeon for good and heading back to town. Townsfolk cheer you as you stride through the streets with the skeleton's glowing longsword slung at your hip. From the front steps of the town hall, you regale the mayor and the townspeople with a tale of your victory, after which she presents you with your reward, a bulging sack containing 100 gold pieces, the more than you've seen in your entire life. What's more, a local merchant who's heard your story offers to buy the diamonds for 100 gold pieces each and the rubies for 50 gold pieces each. You also find out the magical longsword is a +1 longsword, which gives you a +1 bonus on all of your attacks and damage that you make with it. With the gold from the mayor's reward and selling your gems, you have more than enough to buy better armor and perhaps even a magic potion or 2. Already, you're starting to think that maybe the life of a heroic adventurer might hold a lot of promise. You have completed your first role-playing game adventure and are ready to make your own character. So I do want to point out, we typically go for about an hour here, so we're at an hour. I think this was fun. I really like taking a look at this and studying what's inside these boxes. But I did want to point out that, okay, once you get past that, this is creating a character and stuff, which it's got the what am I trying to say here? It's got the pre-generated characters in it, but this is also a very friendly way to go through and create a new character, because it tells you, like, okay, first do this, right? Once you're level 1, do the following things. When you hit second level, this is how you level up. Third level, this is how you level up. Fourth and fifth. So, first do these things, write these things down, match these things, armor and weapons. Choose one of these weapon focuses. Boom, you are done with a first level fighter. Go to page 32. So it's colorful, it's well organized, it's newbie friendly, and it tells you, on one page, this is what you do to create a fighter. So if you're going to be having people create characters, I think this is a great way to do it. Finishing your character, skills, adventuring gear. So as you can see, this is why I am a fan of this box set. I don't know if it is the gold standard of box sets because I haven't reviewed all of the box sets, but I was definitely impressed with it for everything that it is, and I think it accomplishes its mission. I think this was the first RPG game box like this that I had seen that was so thorough. Now there could have been others. Just personally that I had seen. I was really impressed with it. So to me, at least, when I saw it, I was like, oh well, this definitely raises the bar as to what an RPG starter box should contain and be like. And I think they obviously put a lot of thought into that, and it probably pays off. I would think it pays off because if you don't have people playing your game, then what do you do? The UFO Man, good to see you. The UFO Man says, I have Dungeons and Dragons, the board game. Never played it. Well, if you're talking about the role-playing game, yeah, we're all Dungeons and Dragons fans here. Now, but if you're actually talking about the role-playing game, that's what we mostly play. If you're actually talking about a game, they did make some dedicated board games about Dungeons and Dragons. And so you could be talking about one of those. I don't know that I've played some of them, but not all. So if it's an actual board game, I'm not sure. Andrew says, I like giving people a taste. It gives you a feel quickly. And I think that's what you got to do. You can't, in today's world, especially, like, expect people to be investing hours to at least figure it out. Tony, welcome, Tony. Tony says, I have and love the Pathfinder 2nd edition beginner box. It's such a great value. Well, we should probably check that one out too then. I was just saying that Pathfinder has completely fallen off my radar. I just don't see anything posted about it. It's like I must be out of that social media network circle of people who play, because I used to hear about Pathfinder all the time, and it's completely fallen off the radar. So that's probably also something we should look at. So I need the Call of Cthulhu starter box, and I need the 2nd edition beginners box. That's probably why I really haven't gotten into 2nd edition, because at least as far as figuring out how to play, I'm like, I'd like to know what did they do with 2nd edition, but it's a, what do we say, 678 page book or something like that. It's like, okay, so what is it? Maybe I need a 2nd edition beginners box to check out, and we can all check it out, see what is inside, see if they improved their design or whatever, how it goes, and actually learn how to play. Tony says the D&D adventure system board games are great.
Could you try?
Lots of minis and an easy entry to dungeon crawl board gaming. The D&D adventure system board games. Okay, cool. So there you go, the UFO Man. I'll have to check those out as well. All right. If you are still here, I would love for you to click the like and subscribe. Retro Nerd Girl says, thanks for going through that. I would be interested in trying that one besides the Blade Runner game. We're going to get into the Blade Runner game next week. And see, we already looked at it digitally, but we'll see what's inside, because I'm curious to see exactly how that was implemented physically. I'm going to cut out of here. I will see you tonight for dinner and a board game, and then stay tuned on Instagram. I'll put up this Instagram and Twitter right there. You can follow me right there. I've been putting out like stories. I don't know what's going to happen when I'm on the at the adventure location, the field trip location on Sunday. I probably will not try to live stream from there, because I don't even know if they have Wi-Fi or internet of any kind. But I'll be taking video And I'll be putting stuff out on Instagram, probably easiest, and in the Discord server about where I am and what I'm seeing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And it might have to do with the shirt I got yesterday. All right. I got to go because I also got to prepare for tonight. I will see you tonight for dinner and a board game, and then also a Crafter's Corner where we'll be painting live. Later, everybody.